Ready? Okay.
Good evening. Welcome, everyone, to the November 15th, 2023 Planning Commission meeting. I am Tamara Blake Wallace. I'm the Planning Commission Administrator. This meeting will be conducted as a hybrid meeting, allowing for both virtual and in-person participation. Serving as moderator tonight is Christine Goldsmith, who will now go over the rules and etiquette for this meeting. Chris?
Good evening. My name is Chris Goldsmith, and I am the Development Review Coordinator in Planning and Zoning, and I will be your Zoom moderator this evening. This meeting is being recorded on video and audio for record-keeping purposes. For those attending virtually via Zoom, please keep yourself muted to ensure no interruptions to the evening. We currently do not have anyone online other than staff, so I'm going to skip the basic etiquette. If anyone comes in and wants to ask questions or speak at that time, I will run through the commands. So lastly, if anyone does want to chat or speak to the staff online and let us know if we're experiencing difficulties with audio or video, let us know and we'll work expeditiously to correct them. And please refrain from placing comments on questions in the Zoom chat, as not all in attendance at the public meeting can see those communications. Thank you. And back to you, Claire.
Thank you, Chris. I will turn the floor over to our chairman.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Calvert County Planning Commission's November 15th, 2023 regular meeting. My name is Maria Bueller, and we will begin with item 1 on the proposed agenda. Roll call. Vice Chair Kernan.
Here.
Commissioner Gadway.
Here.
Commissioner Freeland.
Here.
Commissioner Toohey.
Here.
Commissioner Dr. Holler.
Yes.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Right, we have a quorum. If you could all please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on our agenda is action on the proposed agenda.
Commissioners, any changes?
Motion to approve, please. Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Kernan, seconded by Commissioner Freeland. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 4, action on the proposed summary of actions from October 18th, 2023 regular meeting.
Madam Chair, I propose they be accepted as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Toohey, seconded by Commissioner Gadway. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Now we will have recognitions of persons attending the meeting. Present with us tonight, Mary Beth Cook, Director of Planning and Zoning, Carolyn Sunderland, Deputy Director of Planning, Judy Makel, Deputy Director of Zoning, Tay Harris, Long Range Planner, we have Christine Fenimore, our Principal Planner, Amalia Pleek-Tam, Planner 3, Gerald Cousineau, Planner 2, Kat Lockwood, Planner 2, and with us tonight also is the Director of Economic Development, Julie Oberg. We have Becky Parkinson also with us tonight from Planning and Zoning, who is our Planning Commission Clerk, and serving as legal counsel tonight is John Mattingly. Item number 6, major subdivisions for final review and action. Item A, SDFP 142859, Armory Square, lots 1 and 2. And I will just read the memo. I, Tamara Blake Wallace, Secretary to the Planning Commission, certify that all conditions of the preliminary approval granted by the Planning Commission on April 28th, 2022 for SDFP 142859 Armory Square, lots 1 and 2 have been met. Our recommendations and next steps, of course, of action of the Planning Commission would be to 1, approve as certified, to 2, recommend changes and approve accordingly, or request additional information from staff and defer to the future Planning Commission meeting, or you could disapprove this recommendation.
Commissioners, I'd like to make a motion. Yes, ma'am. To approve as certified SDFP-142859 Armory Square, lots 1 and 2.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Tui. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
You guys did a heck of a job
Thank you.
tonight. You're welcome.
Next on the agenda, item 7, applications for site plan review and action. We do not have any tonight. Item 8, major subdivision applications for preliminary review and action. There are no items on the agenda tonight. That brings us to item 9, long-range planning, a memo from Tay Harris on the Dunkirk Town Center Master Plan update.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Evening.
I'm going to go ahead and just briefly run through the memo for you. This is feedback for the November 2nd community meeting that we held to present the draft Dunkirk master plan update. So the Planning Commission has endorsed the 3-phase process to update the town center master plans. And so this is part of that process. I'm going to go ahead and skip to the discussion unless you'd prefer that I read the background.
We're good.
Okay. So a community meeting was held at the Dunkirk Volunteer Fire Department on November 2nd. And the meeting was hybrid. It provided participants the opportunity to participate in person and virtually. Prior to the meeting, planning and zoning staff met with the Dunkirk liaisons committees to provide an overview of the next steps in the master plan process and also to solicitate assistance in conducting outreach. In addition, planning and zoning staff coordinated with the Department of Communications and Media Relations to conduct outreach via the county government's calendar, news flashes, press releases, its LinkedIn page, and its Facebook page. Planning and zoning also distributed flyers to businesses in the Dunkirk Town Center. And we also were assisted in flyer distribution by the Department of Community Resources and the County Library System. And then 2 weeks prior to the meeting, a banner was advertising the meeting was hung at the Dunkirk District Park. So as you can tell, we did a lot of community outreach to get participants to come to the meeting. The overall feedback from in-person meeting participants was positive. Technical issues did occur at the meeting. It was basically the audio, and I think it was the Zoom participants had a hard time hearing at first. But that was eventually abated, and then it was overall well received by participants. So the participants commented on pedestrian and bicycle safety, wastewater treatment, the exclusion of the Ward Farm Park from the town center. The question basically was why was it excluded? And the answer has to do with connectivity. There are several parcels in between the town center boundary and this park, so it doesn't make sense to expand the town center to include that park. 22 people attended the meeting in person, 10 people attended the meeting in Zoom, and then 97 people have viewed the YouTube recording as of November 6th. So we do anticipate reporting back to you in early winter of 2024 to seek directions in the next steps of the master plan update. We're here just to provide you with information only tonight. Do you have any questions?
I don't have, just a comment.
Yes.
We already know, I'm sure of this, I know of at least one residence that's on Pump At. And I think there are more than that back in Apple Green down over the hill. I would hope that somewhere in our planning that we're going to come to grips with the fact that we have 2 different sewer systems with different application, and we have a volume that is going to get worse. And I hope that we're going to face this, that we need a solution. That's what I'm saying, rather than something temporary or that sort of thing. And I hope that your group gives that close attention.
Thank you. It's noted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tay. Next on the agenda, item 10, items for discussion and/or action. I will turn the meeting over to our attorney for a summary and contemplated changes to the bylaws.
Thank you, Tamara. So this is, what you see before you are the product of the discussions of both the subcommittee and also the discussions we had in open meeting. The subcommittee came up with the proposed Article 4, Item L, attendance, and the Article 4, Item M, abstentions. And then I believe Commissioner Gadway at an open meeting came up with or recommended Article 4, Item C, noting that the language was awkward and actually in opposition. So, with that clarification for Article 4, Item C, we just clarified the language. The attendance record for Item L would, in fact, give the county commissioners a report not just of attendance, but also a record of all recusals and abstentions taken by each member at the end of the year. And the final Article 4, Item M, is abstentions, making it mandatory that an abstaining member state the reasons for an abstention, and the reason must fall into one of the 3 categories listed below. Any questions from the commissioners? These have been published, so the citizens have had a chance. I don't believe we've had any comments from the citizens to date. So, is there anything that we need to change, you'd like to have added?
Council, is there any prohibitions on us voting on this evening?
You may vote tonight. It has been duly advertised.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we request that these changes be adopted into the bylaws and submitted to the county commissioners for approval.
Second.
Question?
Yes, sir.
On a matter of recusal, is it just self-evident that many people recuse because they have a conflict of interest? This doesn't mention anything at all about conflicts of interest.
If I may.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Previously in the bylaws, it discusses recusals, and also in our ethics. But in our bylaws, it talks about recusals for conflicts of interest.
Okay, good. Well, that's it.
So I have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Gadway and seconded by Commissioner Freeland. Do I have any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right.
I will have this to the commissioners and on their agenda for their next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Next on the agenda is items of interest. These items are for informational purposes only. First on the agenda, item A, is the flood mitigation plan update. There's a memo that you have from Amalia Pleak-Tam. Are there any questions or discussions? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on to item B, adequate public facilities report for schools, November 1st, 2023. You have a memo from Jesse Clark, Planner 1, from Planning and Zoning, and you have the report for the schools. Have you all had a chance to review this?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions or comments?
It's very enlightening.
It is.
I'm gonna ask for you to follow that up. How was it enlightening, sir?
That we have had a continual reduction in student population in
Yes.
Calvert County for over 5 years straight
Yes.
now.
And some of our schools are just, 50, 60% capacity.
While others are over 100.
Yes, but there's a reason for that.
Right.
It's convenience. People who don't live in the area ask to have their children transferred there for their convenience. So when we say they're crowded, they're not crowded for people who live there.
It's a lot easier to drop your kids off heading north on your way to
Right.
work. So there's no major childcare facilities down south.
Okay, is there any other discussion on this item? We'll move on to item C, site plan and subdivision application list. You have before you the site plan and subdivision lists. Are there any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, that brings us to item 12, which is public comment. Chris, do we have anyone online to speak? Okay, do we have anyone in the public that would like to speak? Okay, that moves us on to item 13, adjournment.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Tui, seconded by Commissioner Williams. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all for attending the meeting tonight.